Hello, parasocial bestie gang. How is it going today? That's all the time we have. All right, we have to get into this. This is DEFCON 1 in terms of internet crisis, which perhaps is like a little dramatic, but not really. This is a situation that genuinely stresses me out to the point where I'm like, okay, time to rally the troops, which fortunately for me, you guys also belong to the parasocial bestie army, aka the PBA. It was written in the personal sacrifice and blood oath part of the contract that you signed when you press subscribe. But again, it's really fun to be here. Subscribe, okay? Join the army. BTS. Ooh, speaking of the army, I forgot to mention in the video prior to the last one, it's the Chris Olsen one. We went up 38 new parasocial besties. Round of applause. That was really bad. And then we went up another 4 from the last video. So hello friends, welcome. Won't you fight with us? I need to stop bringing up fighting so early. Speaking of fighting, back to the battleground. Who are we fighting today? The resilient Jenkins. Specifically the adults. I really don't have beef with the youths involved in this situation, but the adults can really take a seat. They need to relax. I have watched so many videos about this freaking family, but like weirdly I never really saw a take like mine. I don't know, like I guess I'm just a little smarter and more empathetic than you losers. This situation genuinely is to me about the safety of the kids, and it sucks because I really don't see a way out for these children because one, they get rich and famous, their family pops off, they're the Ace family now. Hey Ace family! Kids are fucked. They don't get famous and the family still lives in squalor, kids are fucked. Which I know can sound dramatic, but like I'll explain the hot take as we go along. So we're gonna start talking about the safer of the 2 adults in terms of like YouTube monetization, because little Miss Stephanie has some sexual assaults in her past adjacent to her. We'll get into that, but it's gonna take me a few seconds. Don't rush me. We'll get into it. Relax. There's gonna be a lot of relaxing in this video. A lot of people are gonna be told to relax, so bust out your chamomile now. Offender number 1, Andrew Alexander Jenkins. So far I've been able to find 3 women on his baby hit list, as well as Stephanie, who currently has one of his children and then is pregnant with his other child. The most outspoken of the women involved in this situation is a woman that I'm gonna just call A. Specifically because she has said, I don't want to be involved in social media. Can you please like not to respect that? I'm gonna block out her name and everything. It's not hard to find her. I'm gonna show a little video that she dropped a few days after they went viral. It's like the first 20 seconds of the video, and then if I could stop hitting my mic, and then we'll talk about it. I need to like stop talking with my hands, I think is my problem. Whoa, why was that? I could sit on them, but for some reason this was the default. That could be brought up in therapy. That was interesting.
Hi, I'm the first baby mama. I'm absolutely embarrassed the fact that that's my sperm donor. I will not be posting my child on here because y'all not gonna know. But my son is almost 12. Since everybody wants to chime in, that man, that everybody's saying they have 2 loving parents, walked out of his son's life when he was 2. Hasn't seen his son since he was 5. And that's because I reached out to him to come to his kindergarten graduation. And at the time, he only had 1 child, which was that little black boy you guys see in his videos. That's my oldest's little brother. Now, my oldest lives at the top because he will be 12. Doesn't even know he has 2 other siblings. So no, they didn't meet when he had 1 child. He probably has more. He hasn't paid child support because of PS5. I feel bad for those kids. I literally feel bad for my child's siblings, sad to say, that they have to sleep on the floor, and that man has not changed. And it's disrespectful. Mind you, my child's name is being changed. I'm at work, but I keep seeing this shit, and it makes my blood boil. My son doesn't have to worry about anything. He's in a loving home. He has grandparents. He has aunties, his uncles, close family members that are surrounded. My son is loved, and he knows he's loved. And I'm so glad I kept my son out of that situation. Because I never not wanted my son to not know his dad. And he's asked, and I have receipts. I tried to get him to be a part. Even his son asked, Mommy, I just want to know my dad. Why can't I see my dad? Mind y'all, when that happened, I reached out to him. He read the message, never replied. So I put my son in counseling just because I knew it was bothering him, and there was nothing that I could say that was going to help him. I just told him your dad made choices, and he chose to make those choices. It has nothing to do with you. So for people that are saying, oh, they're in a 1-bedroom apartment there with 2 loving parents. No, that's not love. You don't put your kids on the floor. You sacrifice for your kids. You don't put your kids on the floor. His priorities were messed up, and that's why we never worked the fuck out. That's why we didn't work out. Because his priorities, as you guys can see, are all messed up. And now you're going viral for what? And then you continue to make more babies, and you continue to take care of the first one that you had. He don't even know you, but he wanted to know you. You don't even know how great of a kid you got. And I'm so blessed that he doesn't have to worry about being in that situation. He would never have to be there. But what I am sad for is he's never going to know his siblings. And the way Portland is so small, no telling if he would ever run into his siblings when he gets older and not even know it. I have to protect my baby, y'all. I can't even let him see this. He don't have no phone, but I'm sure there'll be somebody out there that can, and he'll see it. So now I have to keep him at bay and let him know myself. But Andrew, I hope you showed up to your court case for your child support. That was on October 2nd. It is October 29th. See, she said in her live earlier that God has been blessing them. No, baby, God ain't blessing you. Andrew's karma is about to do a 360. And while the organ's been looking for you, Andrew Alexander Jenkins, all the shit you've been doing is going to come back tenfold. Your dad, bless his soul, he ain't here to see this. You're an embarrassment. I'm sick, but I have the most beautiful son, and he would never be nothing like you, ever. He has a heart of gold. He's a leader. Do you hear me? My son gives compliments about how he is. He's bright. But that last name that my son is carrying is coming off. hurt my son in ways that I can't explain. And he may not show it, but I know sometimes it bothers him. So what I'm going to do is protect my baby. But what I really do know is the 12 years you've been running, no matter if you got clean or not, you're still doing the same bullshit. 12 years, maybe 12, and you're still doing the same bullshit. And every time, and it's not something that I want to know. Nothing. You're an embarrassment. She's an embarrassment. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what people are saying. It's an embarrassment. You should be embarrassed. And you can sleep at night knowing that your kids sleep on that floor and you're able to just be up in a room decked out with a PS5 and you don't even take care of your first child and you think you're about to be blessed. Oh no, God don't work like that. Not the God I serve. Not who I talk to. Not who's protecting me. Not who's been protecting my child. So yeah, keep that they're in the house with two loving parents. No, they're in the house with two selfish parents who don't care about their upbringing and live nasty. And that's why my son was never around. And I'm so glad I'm raising a well-mannered young man with the help of my family and my husband. So resilient Jenkins, keep thinking about to be blessed. But shit's about to hit the fan for you.
Okay, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Buckle in, guys. Quick head count. This man has so many damn children. So if my math is correct, we have baby number 1, the first baby with A, who is 12. The quote-unquote
The little black boy.
who isn't hers but belongs to another woman, quote-unquote C, another one of the women who gave birth to this little freak's kids, who I believe he has 2 kids with, but one was taken from the mom and then the other baby ended up with him, the quote-unquote
The little black boy.
Then we have mother number 3, who has another son, which I found on TikTok because she's smiling next to him and Andrew. And then he has 2 kids with Stephanie. Again, if my math is right. I was never good at math, notoriously bad, so like clock me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we're up to 7. Math is hard and I'm not good at it. Not only does this man have just like so many babies, but he refuses to pay for them, which is so super fun. That's why he insists on getting a W-2 job, because you know who doesn't have to pay child support? People without W-2s.
Allegedly, he won't have to pay without a W-2 job.
Do you know what people who don't have W-2s do? Gig work. He is a slut for a good gig. Unfortunately, there really aren't a lot of good gigs coming his way, otherwise we probably wouldn't be talking about him. There's so much that I could say about this dumb donkey. However, that is not the point of this video. The point of this particular video is about the exploitation of children. Eee, we love that. Okie dokie. Offender number 2, Stephanie Jenkins, aka Thomas, probably. Why probably Thomas, you might be asking? Well, because her current husband's last name is Thomas. She's not married to Andrew. But where is this man? Well, he's sitting his pretty ass in prison for what? Being a super gross weirdo who sexually assaulted his mother when he was 16 and she was 60. It does feel like I'm doing true crime again. But wait,
There's more.
because he was also charged with communication with a minor for immoral purposes 2 years later, because he can't get it together for more than 2 years apparently. He was caught sexually assaulting a 14-year-old child when he was the big age of 19. Sir, allegedly Stephanie knew about this when she married him, allegedly, and it's alleged that one of the daughters is his because like they do look, there's a resemblance. We can say it's a little uncanny. I'm not gonna show the picture of the little girl because I'm gonna blur all the faces of the children, obviously. So again, if you want to look it up, go crazy, go stupid. There's a family resemblance in my opinion, and the timeline does match up as to when Stephanie gave birth to her daughters, so
Suspicious.
Okay, so outside of that, there really isn't anything to write home about. These people suck, and you'll kind of see that as we go along, so we're just gonna kind of let them speak for themselves as we go. If you have heard about the Jenkins, you probably know the first video that I'm gonna be showing, so like feel free to skip forward a few minutes. We'll reconvene when we start talking about
The wonderful world of
exploitation. I'm gonna quickly show you the video that introduced me to the entire Jenkins family drama. I had no idea this existed until I saw this, and the way I was like, oh, this has got to be a bit, which obviously it was for the video, but she was inspired by real life events, we'll say.
My husband and I have 9 kiddos with the 10th on the way, and here's how we managed to live in a studio apartment that has 0 bedrooms. Our youngest babies obviously don't need much, so instead of wasting money on multiple cribs, we purchased one giant cat tower that fits them all. As you can see, this fits in the corner perfectly, so it doesn't take up much space, plus the baby sleeps so comfortably on it. They all have more than enough room to spread out, and they never complain. For some reason, my daughter never gets good sleep in this, so tonight I'm going to put her in the hole at the bottom. That way it's dark and she won't be bothered by any sunlight. My older kiddos sleep on the hardwood floor directly in front of the front door, and before any of you keyboard warriors get upset about this, don't worry, I tested it out once and my back only hurt for 3 days. Since I do have 9 kiddos, unfortunately not all of them fit in the cat tower, so I do spread them out throughout the apartment, and sometimes they sleep next to the cat litter. Thankfully, my hubby and I have this ginormous cloud couch that we're able to lay on every single night, and it's an absolute dream. We always feel well rested. I know we're gonna receive some judgment from ignorant people who have no life experience, but in the meantime, my husband's PlayStation 5 just got delivered, so we're gonna spend tonight setting it up.
Right? Like that's a funny haha. It's a lot less funny when the context is included, but I mean, The way she was swinging that baby did give me a chuckle. Okay, let's direct our attention to the first video on the Jenkins page that caused everything to go haywire.
As you can read in the caption above, we're a family of 6 going on 7 living in a 1-bedroom apartment. As the kids grow older, that means we constantly have to adapt our environment to give them more means for privacy and extra space. When outside our environment appears cluttered, disorganized, what have you. But quite frankly, after making do for nearly 3 years now, I have nothing but a grateful spirit for the roof over our head. And my perception is judgment comes from a place of not having the experience.
For the first, I think like 30 seconds of this video, I was like, I don't know, everyone's freaking out. It's not like horrible. The dining room's moderately sized. It's not like the apartment can be that small, not considering how small 1-bedrooms do tend to be. It's been a minute since I lived in an apartment. Not a flex. Owning a home sucks. Don't do it. It's a trap. But I was like, it's not that deep, guys. It's not like a horribly small space.
I can tell you after everything I've been through in the past 3 years, there's very little I have to judge people on.
And then we see this, and it's just like so small. And also, despite what she said, this isn't coming from a place of judgment. Like, I guess everything, when you have an opinion, you judge the situation, you give an opinion. Technically, sure, it is judgment. But objectively, that is too small of a space. You go to any apartment, they're gonna be like 3 per 1 bedroom. Not a drag, just an observation. The space is too small. I mean, it's kind of a drag, because like, fuck you guys. You're being horrible to your children. I didn't want to come off too mean, but I think I failed. Point is, small space for too many tiny little bodies piled up in there. Also, there's a conversation to be said about wealth, about socioeconomics, about all these big fancy words that we're not really getting into today, or maybe ever, because I really don't think I'm going to revisit this family. I thought that they would be old news by now. They're not. I would like to say, yeah, I judge the hell out of them. However, I'm not judging because they're poor, because I don't have a lot of money. I can tell you that Earnin app, best friends with me. All that to say, I'm not judging them because they're poor.
When it comes down to it, I could shove everything my kids have in 1 bedroom of some of these houses I see, and it would really look like nothing.
I don't know if you guys noticed or heard what she just said. She said,
Everything my kids have in 1 bedroom, and it would really look like nothing.
then do it. Don't threaten me with a good time. Fucking do it, girl. Put all your kids' stuff into a space. Give them an area. Their bedroom is not the living room. The living room is to live in. The bedroom is to bed. You put bed in bedroom. Have you never encountered a studio apartment, Stephanie and Drew? You can rough it in the living room a la studio apartment while your kids are sardined in another room, but at least they have their own space. I can't comprehend a reason why the adults would need a bedroom other than I've heard to
For 5 minutes, could you not be yourself? I need to slow. I wanna get high.
Smoking is not good for your health, but you know what?
I'm not judging that part. Stop spending money on that if you can't afford your children, but that's not, again, not a conversation to have right now. We're talking about exploitation, not lack of financial resources. I mean, you guys can talk about it all you would like in the comments, but I'm not talking about that right now. Personally, I think it's super rude. That's such a dumb word for the situation. That's rude. Putting your kids in the living room, ew. But it's rude. And also so unsafe. This point has been made 1,000 times, but I'm here to make it 1,001. What are you gonna do if someone breaks in? Those are not your little guard dogs. I have a dog because I like to know if someone's breaking in. Someone tried to break into my house like a month ago, and my dog started barking and freaking out, and the guy said, okay, bye. I caught it all on ring. It was crazy town. I don't want my kids for that. I don't want my alarm to be my alarm should be a good boom. It's just not safe. It is not good for your kids. Why do they not have their own little space? I don't know if you know this, but kids kind of need a safe space to go and like relax and fuck off when they're having a bad time, just like you do as an adult. Did you know that kids are like mini adults? It's crazy to think that kids are like their own autonomous beings who have their own like thoughts, feelings, and emotions. But like, if we could get right with that fact, then perhaps we could realize that the kids who don't know how to emotionally regulate yet should probably have their own space where you as the adult should have learned to regulate, hopefully, so that way you can sleep in the living room and not force your kids to like cry in the corner on their mattress in front of God and everyone, and they can like, I don't know, at least be in a room. Your parents have decided that they earned the bedroom, and so far they haven't given us a good reason. They've literally just been like, I don't need to tell you. Like, yeah, you don't need to, but then you need to shut up, and the rest of us are like, you're being weird. Anyway, that's the gist of video 1. What did you guys think? How did you like it? Hopefully you liked it, because we have like 3 more of these to get through. From the top, make it drop. That's a wet ass baby who you need to get off the screen, because why is your naked ass child on the screen? Stop lotioning the baby.
Well, at least you're gonna get an extra love in there. extra love in there.
I just rewatched this and I don't know what she means by extra love, because the only thing I could assume is that it's extra dirt and skin flakes.
Disgusting!
I have horrible contamination anxiety, and if you put your fucking piggies in there, you're gonna be transferring the dirt and the day and the butt crack scratches from your fingernails into that beef. I don't care how long you cook it. I don't care. I need to lose weight anyway. I'm just starving that night. It's fine. Okay, so she's trying to get the kids in the kitchen. That's a good thing. I don't know why. The kids are a friggin' fiend for getting in the kitchen. Can somebody explain it?
Yeah, how long am I supposed to cut her?
Like with that. No way.
That jump scares me every single time. Has nobody taught her, see, for careful, not chop chop? You need those fingers, girl. Stephanie, get your child. Not her completely ignoring how Stephanie just told her how to cut. I am going to need a quick and hasty explanation for that foam topper situation on the grubby kitchen floor. At least let it become a little bit of a petri dish and put it in the soft living room carpet. Like, I know that's technically more disgusting, but at least she's not going to develop spinal arthritis by the time she's 10. Go ahead and pop her ass in the living room, please and thank you. Or alternative solution, we buy all the kids air mattresses. That is the talk of the town in the comment section. I think for a queen size it's like $60, $80. They're easy to take down in the morning. It's like no one lives there except for all the children living there and leaving grubby little paw prints all over the place. Now we have a video that Stephanie took an artistic choice with, and let's see if that pays off. Oh my god, it's so awkward. I think we need to not make that choice again. I will say that as a kid, I did fuck with watching my dad play video games. That's how I got started on Baldur's Gate. That's where I saw the most traumatizing video game of my childhood, which is Hunter the Reckoning. And like, the only reason I added this to the exploitation evidence is because look at that boy. He is fully being held hostage. He is a captive audience. He didn't want to be there. He was watching Power Rangers in the living room, and Stephanie said, "Get in here, I have an idea." For my ADHDers out there, we're almost there, guys. We have one more video and then a photo post to talk about, so just hang in there. So this video was posted one day after Halloween. She started to realize perhaps the error of her ways. She's getting a little bitter, starting to say shit like,
Let's make dinner for my family of 6 going on 7. Or according to the internet, what are we at, like 9 now?
Like, calm down, bitch. You're the one who started it, okay?
This morning I had asked Drew to come back after he brought the kids to school and help me move around a few things, make a little more space for the boys. Managed to set up a little area for each of the kids to have their own little bubble, which mind you would not be possible in the bedroom. That we have it now gives each kid the opportunity to set up their space how they like it, decorate the walls and areas around them to give them their own little aesthetic.
The kids are in bunk beds, no? Can you not line a room with bunk beds? Let's think. Okay, that sounded so condescending. Let's think. But no, for real. So if we think about it, we have 4 bunk beds. I meant 2 bunk beds. 4 beds. I'm really bad at math. Have I said that? You put 2 bunk beds. Girls, the boys. The baby will go in eventually, you know, maybe he can have his favorite kid bed. I don't know. First off, for hopefully obvious reasons that I'm not gonna get into, the almost teenage boy is gonna need his own partitioned space. And honestly, so are the girls. They're getting too old for this shit, man. They need their own space. So like, yeah, already cramming them all into one room isn't the best idea when it's like a co-ed situation. Not because I think they're gonna like do anything creepy toward each other, but specifically, that's a good time. You need to explore yourself at that age, okay? And I'm not saying right now. Okay, I feel like I'm getting too into this. I'm just saying when they get older, all right? They need to find more than a 1 bedroom. But as it stands, 2 bunk beds, put them in there. They have their own room. You can put a little curtain. When I had a 1 bedroom, I made a little corner area where I like hung up little curtains in the ceiling. You can put in the super heavy duty light barricading curtains that I can't think of the name right now, but they also quinkadinkly barricade a lot of sound. It's getting hot. Ooh, getting worked up. Anyway, give your kids some privacy, bitch. To me, it feels like they're using their poverty as the form of exploitation and like rage bait just to kind of piss everyone off, including myself. Because like, we all know that the adults could do just fine in the living room. Again, partitions are a wonderful thing. It's making me think of Ruby Frankie and the beanbag incident. If you know, you know, and if you don't, oh my god, please look into it. It's so bad.
Kiddos have big dreams that we're trying to make come true, and a whole lot of memories that I'd love to give them.
This part really bothered me because what are their goals? Like, you say your kids have hopes and dreams and goals and aspirations and all that great stuff, but like, what are they? Because despite everything else you've overshared about these poor babies, you still haven't told us what their dreams are, and I feel like you don't even know what their dreams are, because I feel like they don't know what their dreams are. They don't seem to have an opportunity or a space to like sit with themselves and think about life Like, yeah, they're children. They're not really like
pondering about
their life or future, but still, they do need time to, like, I don't know, sit and actually think about their dreams. We are all very well aware that your plan is to become the next Ace family, Stephanie and Drew. But does that align with the kids' goals? What have the kids said? Have they said, oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, I want to be a fucking astronaut. I want to go kick rocks behind a Walmart. But what did they say that they wanted? And how is what you're currently doing going to impede on this? Because as I said, we have one more post after this, and it makes me so mad even to think about right now. What she puts on the internet could very well fuck her kids in the future. She posts stuff about one of the sons' fetal alcohol syndrome, about their horrible lice, horrible bed bugs. She makes them seem stinky and gross. They can only shower once a week, and she makes that publicly known. You could argue that in the future, maybe people will look back and be like, oh my god, you lived through so much, which is the best case scenario. Or they're gonna look back and be like, hey, is your fetal alcohol syndrome gonna stop you from working, or some fucked up thing like that? Because unfortunately, especially when it comes to mental health stuff, people aren't super kind sometimes. And I know fetal alcohol is obviously beyond just mental health, go see a therapist. It's not that, but shit like that really can come back and haunt them. And their kids are gonna say stupid things. Like, I haven't seen evidence of them saying silly, goofy things yet, but if this continues, they will likely be unintentionally or intentionally exposed, doing or saying weird things because they're kids. And like, you probably won't cut it, Stephanie and Drew, because the more controversial the better, the more content, and so that would only benefit you if the kids started popping off and acting crazy like that one little girl on TikTok right now.
You do not get to max out my debit cards.
Okay, and?
Whose mom is also exploiting her. Point is, you don't know how what you record about your children now will affect them later, so maybe don't. Or maybe blur their face and change their name, because nobody needs to know who they are or what they look like. And the fact that all that Stephanie does for like years, she's been at this shit for 3 years. There were posts where she's like, why doesn't anyone care about my baby? My babies are so cute. It's crazy they haven't blown up yet. Like, yeah, they are cute as shit. That doesn't mean that people are just gonna naturally watch them. You have to be interesting outside of shit posting and rage baiting. You know what I mean? So this is the last post I'm talking about, and this is the one that pissed me off the worst. It's gonna get ranty, ladies and gentlemen, and theys and thems, and whoever the hell is watching. I really don't have much to say about this one. I feel as though it's self-explanatory. We go back to, do not air your children's mental health struggles online. Okay? Their health issues don't need to go online. The fact that they chronically have lice because, I don't know, maybe it brings in content. I don't know. You don't let lice and fleas and whatever the hell chew up your children and their hair. That is so bad. They're gonna get some sort of fucking infection. They're gonna get, what is it, Lyme disease that you can get from ticks? Awful. Leave your kids alone. Actually, don't leave them alone. Give them more care. To be honest, I don't have a lot to say about this one outside of why would you air your daughter's mental health issues online if not for clout and attention? I'm certain she didn't ask you to put up, hey mom, I have depression, can you go ahead and blast that into the ether, thank you. She probably doesn't even know, and guess what, one day she gets to figure it out because the internet's forever. Have you considered that, bitch? It's just awful to pity fish with your child's mental health struggles, because again, she already did that with the son who suffers with fetal alcohol syndrome, allegedly. She has made posts implying that. I don't know his medical records and I don't want to figure it out because that's rude and it's not my fucking business. From what she says, he did suffer, like his mom drank while she was pregnant with him. Not good. Bad news bears, please don't do that. If you needed to be told not to drink when you're pregnant, don't drink when you're pregnant. Hello? There's really no reason to post this online outside of pity points, in my opinion. You're not seeking help from other moms, from kids who are struggling with mental health issues, which, by the way, still isn't a good reason to put your kid up, but like, no, you know what? I was gonna try and make an argument. Fuck that. Don't put her face on there. You really don't need to. And also, instead of, again, blasting that to the internet and being like, my kid has depression, maybe talk to a trusted confidant about this and not the 150,000 people you now have on your TikTok? Or have you considered the fact that maybe she's upset because lice are gnawing at her fucking skull all the time and all of her pets are sickly and she gets to watch them deteriorate because you don't know how to take care of your pets, Stephanie and Drew, and so then the cat has a skin condition and that's super sad. And kids aren't stupid. They know when their pets and siblings are upset. So I think it would be depressing to be stuck in a living room with no place to cope with your emotions on top of watching all of your pets and siblings suffer. Just a place to start this fucking conversation. Ooh. I got mad. I don't know, man. In conclusion, I don't know what to do. I really don't. The dilemma that I am currently seeing and experiencing personally, help me out here, is that they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. Let's say that they get rich. Let's say they pop off. Let's say they're ace family besties and they all go out and get mimosas and abandon their children together. So now the kids are stuck being exploited for consistent profit. And so their parents are going to be working their ass off to make sure that the kids are working at full capacity in order to continue making the income. And now the bad side is, let's imagine that they don't make it. And now the parents are pushing them in the exact same way, except potentially like a little harder. I think that it could cause a lot of resentment, especially the way she really puts a lot of expectation on her children. Like, why aren't you aesthetically pleasing enough to make people love you? And why aren't you entertaining enough to bring in the views? Like, what's wrong with you, children? It's a family vlog, but the weight's not on their shoulders. Perhaps grow a personality, Stephanie. And we're already seeing the impacts of these family channels. Again, Ruby Frankie, her daughter came out against her in court. Go and watch it. The consensus so far from any child star from Hollywood to internet, I genuinely can't think of a kid who had a good time. Like, please tell me if I'm wrong. Please comment like, no, this kid had a fantastic time, because yay, we got one, guys. Like and subscribe. Bye.